Hey guys, welcome back to Favorite Ironing Customs. I am Michael. I hope everyone's having a great week. Guys, we're out here in the shop today trying to get some work done on the 50. What I'm doing is making I got the forge lit, guys. I'm sweating my tail off. It's warm. I'm making the brace to go at the back of the transmission tunnel and the brace to go at the front of the transmission tunnel. I'm hoping we'll also get the transmission tunnel made in this and some more of the bracing done. So what I've done, I'm making that brace out of, this is 1/2 inch, which is 12.5 millimeters by 25, or 1 inch for those braces. I'm putting them in the fire. I have put a mark here in something you learn in blacksmithing. If you want to keep up with something when you put it in the forge, like a specific measurement, you mark it with a chisel or put a dot on it or something. If you use marker, it's going to burn away. You might, I don't know if you can use chalk. I don't think you can use chalk. So what we're doing, you can use a torch to do this. I'm choosing to use a forge because my torch is out of gas and, stuff. So since we used these 7.5 inch blades to create our hole for our transmission tunnel, I have taken a 16 millimeter chrome Craftsman socket and put it in my vise, and we're just going to use this to bend that piece around whenever it gets hot enough. Maybe should have left it a little longer. So let me get that up to temperature and we'll come back. Probably going to have to, I know we're going to have to do this in several heats. Matter of fact, I feel like we're already losing heat. Oh. And yeah, and you put heat somewhere else. Grab the other one. That's hot. That's very hot. That's how hot we need it, though. Okay. Hello, guys. It is warm. Might go in and get hydrated. I've got those hoops bent. What I ended up having to do was break out this tool that I made to bend rounds. And basically what you will do, let me grab just something that's cool. Your hot metal, you stick in there and you use that pipe to shape it with hot. So we're close. We're not 100%. What needs to be shaped can be formed cold. As a matter of fact, if you'd wanted to bend that cold, you could have bent that cold. Just how much, maybe we should have bent it cold. It's hot today. I'm going to get hydrated. We're going to let those hoops cool down, and we're coming back. All right, guys, I think we're going to clean that up. We could use the mill, but just showing you guys that it does not take some of the tooling that I have in my shop to do this work. The mill would have done a nicer job. We could have measured it, cut it precisely. It's a rat rod. And that's something that I have to keep bringing myself back around to, that thought process that I want to make things a certain way, but, you know, even though it's probably going to go to some car shows, it's not a show car. You know, and if you want to put that time, the level of commitment into building a car, by all means, do it. I got other cars that I want to be nicer than this. This thing I want to drive and beat on. Okay, guys, I'm just sitting here on the stool enjoying a little break, and I'm going to catch y'all up to where I'm at. I haven't really done any recording because it's more of the same of what I've already done. I went ahead and I installed that back hoop for the drive shaft tunnel, and after I got done doing that, I plug welded it, so it's plug welded to the cab of the truck. It's not going anywhere. We still have some welding, like I said, underneath the bottom of this whenever we get to the point where, you know, we can go ahead and pull this back off the truck. Okay, then I made this little hoop right here to fit over that so that I could set the height of this hoop the same. And I just, you know, squared the sides up with the chassis this way and squared it this way. You know, so it's in there good. And this little piece that I made, this is going to come in handy when we make the drive shaft tunnel, because this is the amount of steel we're going to need to make our drive shaft tunnel. So what I'll do is I'll take and I'll cut a couple of notches in here on either side, straighten it back out. We can lay it across a piece of 18 gauge and know exactly what size we need to cut out to make that transmission tunnel. Okay, guys, I'm afraid that's going to be it for today. I'm sitting here thinking things through before I can figure out where my floor needs to be for the transmission. I need to figure out where my firewall is going to be. I'm thinking that our transmission tunnel may just be a single piece. Normally you see a transmission tunnel, your drive shaft comes in, then your transmission tunnel goes up, and then it goes up for the bell housing. I'm thinking we're going to have like all one piece. The only thing is, you know, this thing with your flatheads and your Y blocks, and I think FEs are like this too, has this hump on the side of the transmission, so we're going to have to negotiate the floor pan around that. Thankfully, it's on the passenger side, not the driver's side. But I think the next thing we need to do, and it's what I'm going to concentrate on next week, is going ahead and making the firewall. Now, we can't mount the firewall in the truck because I've got to finish taking the old firewall out. And I think that will be easier to do when the truck is apart. So what I am going to do is go ahead and make the firewall. We'll drill some holes, Cleco it in place, and, you know, stick a pin in getting it welded in, but at least we'll know where the firewall's got to go. And once I know where the firewall and what the shape of the firewall going around the transmission is going to be, we'll know how to connect the back part of the floorboard to the front part of the floorboard, if that makes any sense. And that's, like I said, I was going to go and try to finish out the tubing today, but it just does not, at this point, it doesn't make any sense. I also want to go back and take some measurements off of the automatic overdrive. I got a feeling with the way my knees are, if it gets to the point where driving this truck with a manual transmission and it is just, you know, if my knees, you know, aren't cut out for it, we'll probably end up putting an automatic overdrive in it before it's over with. So, you know, stuff. You got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. If you're a customer and they just want a manual in it and you're rocking on, that's fine. But if you're building something for yourself, you got to think down the road, especially if you have, issues, bad knees, whatnot. You got to be thinking about changing stuff out later on. Anyway, like I said, short video this week, guys. I'll see y'all next week. Hopefully, we'll have that firewall built, and maybe we'll even get into the floor. I'm going to try to get out here tomorrow. It's already Saturday. I've never tried to edit and post a video on a Saturday night for Sunday, but that's what we're going to do this week. So that's another reason why I'm just not going to break loose and head to town and try to get too deep into something else on this. But anyway, see y'all next week with something, hopefully, as long as everything goes fine. And